In this module, I want to talk about persuasion loops, right? It's an NLP-based closing system that moves prospects in a loop. Raw emotion, structured logic. Firm commitment, high emotion, right? Every loop locking in urgency, certainty, desire. Because the outcome is we want to create a complete psychological arc that engages both sides of their brain, right? Their emotional, their limbic, and their rational, their prefrontal cortex, right? You got both sides, you're making the sale. And while reinforcing a buying identity at every stage, right? It's not just a close, it's a transformational loop, right? So this model ensures that no part of their brain gets left behind in the decision-making process, right? Because if you've looked at the other modules, you understand if their brain comes to the decision, they will speak it. No matter the objections they're giving you, if their brain is there, it will come out. They will buy, right? There's 4 stages of the loop. The first one is the emotional trigger. You should be taking notes. The stage 1 is an emotional trigger. You open the loop with emotion. Because buying decisions, especially high-ticket sales buying decisions, are emotionally driven and rationalized later. So the objective is, like we reviewed, to tap into pain, desire, dissatisfaction deep enough to activate their motivational engine, right? Using hot cognition language. What's frustrating you the most right now? Timeline reframes. How long has this been eating at you? Contrast anchoring. And if nothing changes 6 months from now, how would that feel, right? Because those are extremely common questions, but this layer that I'm teaching you for this first step is to use sensory language to amplify this emotion. Right? Can you feel how heavy that stress has become lately? It's a crazy question. Right? Picture what that version of your life would even look like. I know it's a hard question to sometimes ask people, but it's necessary. Right? You don't proceed until there's emotional tension and self-admission of pain or desire. They need to speak it. You can't put it in their mouths. You don't know it. How could you possibly speak it for them? And then you move to stage 2, which is the logic frame, using values, right? So once the emotion is engaged, you have to start introducing logic that's tied to their personal values, not just like general features of the program, like how long, how many coaching calls they get, stuff like that. So your main objective is to build rational alignment around their emotional problem that they literally just gave you. Right? You make the path forward seem inevitable and justified, right? Because at some point, if they're just giving you this, same things over and over again, you have to. This is the push and pull. It's not pain, goal, pain, goal, pain, goal. The pull is value based, is in alignment with the offer itself. So let's just say it's like a value based reframing. So for someone who values growth, is staying where you are even an option? It's framed differently. Or offer frames, where it's like, that's exactly why we built this. Not for people who want shortcuts, but for those who want XYZ systems that they can rely on. Right? Okay, we're placing thoughts in their mind that then we could sequentially then ask questions that immediately are there. The brain is there. They're in alignment, and that's how they would respond. That's why we're reframing them to become our ICP, to be a person who buys, to take on buying behavior. So use meta programs. I was doing deep research, basically talking to ChatGPT for a whole day. It's about how people process information, right? So when you ask someone, do you typically move towards opportunity or away from problems? You start breaking down, okay, that's a great question, because it's okay, there's someone who cares about the problems. We just remove 50% of things that we don't worry about. Now from here, let's take another branch. And then you do another branch. Make multiple branches over and over. Then you're able to frame the solution accordingly. Everyone has different meta programs, right? The logic must feel custom fit to the prospect's unique decision-making filters and values. This is the necessary layer that will help you make the close where people are on the edge. There are closes where it's fuck it, let's do it. That's 20% of closes. Almost my agency. So it's so necessary to go a bit deeper to be in this logic frame using their values. And then you move to stage 3, which is about having them have micro commitments. So the agreement frame, right? After this emotional tension and logical alignment together, You move into commitment priming. So these micro yeses that lead to the macro decision of let's buy. This part is around the commitment urgency towards the end of expiration. Because you want to get the prospect to say yes multiple times before the close. That's in the NLP section. Yes, 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 yes theory. I know Hormozy says get people to say no to buy, but don't agree. Commitment stacking questions. Does that make sense? Yes. Would you agree that doing nothing gets you more of the same? Yes. And you prefer to be in control of that, right? Yes. Cool. So if that does, like, what do you say? You ready to go? Yes. It's people are so human. Repetition is a word because when people repeat things, they just say it. The brain already believes it. Now we've literally gotten them to vocalize it. Now it matches. This should be mind-blowing to you. Emotion, value, the brain understands it, then you match the yes. And to make sure it goes even a step further, when you get started, like, which part of you do you think you'll be most excited about? It's not like, what did you like the most about my pitch? When you get started, I mean, which part do you think you'd be the most excited about? What part, what access what do you really want to dive into? As you shift into this next chapter, what will you need to let go of? Like, they're framing them for the future, whether it's good or bad. Get at least like 3 verbal confirmations or behavioral signals of readiness before that final ask, before you even start pitching. Because the 4th stage is that emotional reinforcement loop. So once you close the loop by returning to emotion from the first, right? But now reframe through certainty and possibility, right? That final nudge happens from positive visioning. So you have to anchor the action to a new identity and future self-image. So you have to start future pacing. Do you imagine like you wake up like 30 days from now, bunch of sales calls booked in your business, like how different would you feel? Imagine you were like, dude, 2 months out now when you able to chisel, like we're able to really chisel up those abs, like really dial in, get the cardio done right do some scientific body fat, whatever. How would that feel? How different would that feel? What's the first thing you change once you start seeing that momentum? Or use victory language, like, dude, you're not just buying a program, you're stepping into a different version of yourself. Let's go. I'm excited for you. Because that emotional echoing will get someone to, further, it pushes it even further, right? Reference words or metaphors that they used early in the call and end with high emotion tied to the self-image, not just like product or offer utility, right? This would be super powerful to implement.